Maternal Mental Health Awareness Week 2020 continues today with its new theme, and that is accessing safe support. So my journey was almost 11 years ago now, and it was very different in that I don't think maternal mental health or even mental health was talked about in the same way it is now. So I didn't know any of the options available to me in terms of accessing safe support. I had an incredible support system, and I am very open about how I feel during and afterwards. I spoke openly to my friends and family about my worries and my concerns and the fact that my anxiety had returned. But eventually it did get to the point where I was so overwhelmed and I did need a little bit more support. Like I said, I didn't know where to go to, so I decided to go to the GP. It took me a lot to get to that point. I was already struggling because in the fear of being judged. I thought, if I can't even carry a baby for 9 months, my body, betrayed me. I couldn't even do the most natural thing. So how could I be a mum? If I'm struggling with my mental health, how can I be a mum? So my fear was not even just of being judged, it was that they were going to come in and take him away from me. And prior to having P, I'd had miscarriage, and, he was the most wanted thing. I mean, I've only ever wanted to be a mum since I was a child. And so I finally had my dream. I had everything that I'd ever wanted. And I was struggling to keep it safe. And so I just felt like if I reached out and got help, it was all going to be taken away from me. And that was something that I couldn't even comprehend. Eventually, I did reach out and I did go to the GP. The first time I went to the GP, like I said yesterday, I used to wear a full face of makeup as my mask. And I suppose I walked in there and, looked perfectly presentable, but inside I was breaking. But his response was, you look fine. Pretty much just go home and deal with it. You look like there's nothing wrong with you. So I went home and continued the struggle for a couple more months, and then I decided enough was enough. And I went back and reached out to my GP again. It was a different GP this time. And I did get the support that I needed, and I did get signposted to a lot of talk therapies and self-help that I needed. At the time, I didn't know any of these things existed. And I guess, unless you're in that position, you probably don't know that these things exist. So if you're watching this video and you feel like, yeah, I do need a little bit of extra support, there are a number of options that you can go to. Your midwife is there for you. So if you haven't had your baby yet, your midwife's contact number will be inside your maternity notes. If you've had your baby, it should be there in your little red book, in your little baby's book. There's also the health visitor, and there's specialist midwives and specialist health visitors specifically for mental health now as well. So you will get support that way. The GP is an option, and there's also, even during this pandemic, A&E and 999 are still options for you if you're in an immediate crisis and you need support right now. These options are still there for you regardless of the COVID pandemic. There are a number of charitable organisations in your areas as well. So the likes of Cheshire and Merseyside, there's the Smile Group, there's NCT, there's Pandas, and there's a lot of talk therapy groups that are offered. So I know Talk Liverpool, I've got a website and there's a lot of self-help on there. You can get some CBT through their website. During this week, Cheshire and Merseyside Perinatal Team are going to be sharing other organisations that you can go to. And there's a lot now as well with peer support. So we do have 2 amazing peer support workers. And I think why I love peer support so much is that it's someone who's been through that experience. It's someone who knows where you are and so can really have empathy with you. It's not someone who's going to give you advice. It's really just a listening ear. And because they've been there, there's definitely no fear of you being judged. No talk therapy or counsellor or psychologist or GP will judge you, and that's the truth of it. But I know that stigma sits with us mums. So peer support is a great option, really, if you've still got that fear that you're going to be judged. These guys have been through it as well, so they're definitely not going to judge you. I think the one thing that I want to say is reach out as soon as you feel like you're suffering. I waited a long time and I regret it because I missed out on a lot. I was coping perfectly well and I was functioning, But there's a lot of things that I missed out on, like I talked about yesterday, like the going to the baby classes and the sensory. And, it's not something that's affected them now, but it's something that I still regret. So my key message today is seek support, seek the right support, and do it sooner rather than later. Thank you for listening. Bye.